together, and you know, it's also the ability for you to have access to more character slots. I know a lot of our players are suffering from arthritis, and that's definitely a good way to store some of your characters, but also to go and say hello to our European players and vice versa as well.
The European players will also have access to the data server.
Yes, our European players will have access to the North American beta server, which is something we requested. And there you go.
We're very excited about this, so this will be coming up soon. All right, we are also introducing issue 20, coming up soon. And issue 20 is called Incarnates. Incarnates is the name of our endgame, and it's woven throughout the lore. The Incarnates are characters like Statesman, Lord Recluse, or even a few characters like DJ Zero that you might not think about when you're thinking of Incarnates. These are characters who tap into the power of the universe. They've been favored by the Well of Eternity to really become exemplars of exemplary of the power that the universe holds. And so, with issue 20, we're introducing the new task and strike forces. In addition to the incarnate trials that are going to form the endgame, we wanted to give lower level characters a chance to sort of get in on the action. And so, we've got the Admiral Sutter Task Force. The Admiral Sutter Task Force lets heroes of levels 20 to 40 participate in defending Primal Earth from the Praetorian invasion. It takes place at the same time as some of the events of issue 19, but in a way that players at lower levels can participate. So, Ryan, can you talk a little bit about what we're seeing here?
Yeah, so this is the flotilla map. It takes place in the Atlantic Ocean, and I worked on this with Chris Hoffman and John Hager, two of our designers. We put these together, and I think it's turned out to be really fun map to play. We also have some new assets like the battleship that get to fight inside of it as well, so it's really cool.
We're pretty excited about this map. In addition,
yeah, so this is the Destroyed Sky City. It's kind of a great way to tell the story of kind of the Praetorian invasion, and Chris Gregory, one of our private artists, made this.
So as the task force progresses, you'll be able to repel the Praetorian invasion. Some of the forces have gone to Skyway City and are taking down the overpasses. So the heroes will be able to fight against both Colonel DeRay of the Sky Raiders as well as his Praetorian counterpart, Colonel DeRay of the Imperial Defense Force here in the foreground, who they're both not the nicest guys you've ever met. I wouldn't want them over for dinner, but you will be able to foil their plans. In addition, we wanted to take the Mortimer Count strike force, the villain strike force, for the same levels of characters on the villain side. Now, the Mortimer Count strike force isn't about defending against the Praetorian invasion. Instead, as a villain, you've heard an awful lot about these incarnates and all this new power that's floating around in the world, and you want to get a piece of it for yourself. So we're leveraging the tip drops from the alignment system, and you get a tip that a local wizard named Mortimer Cal is maybe not as well defended as he thinks it is, and so you set off on your dastardly plan to take advantage of him, and along the way face some sort of petty opposition to your nefarious plans. But in the end, you will win through and meet Positron. Now, Positron's obviously a tough guy, but you're smarter than him. And you end
up here to defend yourself.
You stack the deck against Positron and end up taking the Flames of Prometheus, which is an incarnate artifact from Positron. And the best part about all this is that you get to keep an incarnate artifact as a level 20 to 40 villain. And that will give you some extra power that you might not have had before. And then, once you get to level 50, it won't be so useful to you anymore, so you can turn it in for components for the incarnate system. So we're really giving villains a leg up over the heroes here, so roll right.
I love the right side.
All right. Well, in issue 20, we also introduced what we're now calling the Team Up Teleporter. The Team Up Teleporter is looking for group turned on its head. It's an easy way for players of all types to enjoy the Incarnate Trials. As I said, we don't really want you to just have to be in some giant super group with people on all the time to be able to participate in all of our content. And so the Team Up Teleporter lets you log in, check your options, punch a couple guys in the face, and then you click on a button on your interface and join the queue to join one of the Incarnate Trials. Once you've been into an Incarnate Trial, such as the Behavioral Adjustment Facility, you'll be teleported directly to the bath, as we call it, and be able to participate. The Incarnate Trials are designed to take about an hour to complete. People running the Behavioral Adjustment Facility very smoothly. I was in a run on the beta server a couple of weeks ago that took about 20 minutes. We did want to make this very accessible for players if they want to participate. And so Ryan, you want to talk a little bit about what we're seeing with the Behavioral Adjustment Facility?
Yeah. Well, when we first started building Pretoria, we always had in mind that we were going to be building these trials. And so it's been really fun getting to go back in and actually add a lot of content for basically like the Behavioral Adjustment Facility. It's really fun when you kind of explore more about the story and the background of those environments.
The Behavioral Adjustment Facility, for those who don't know, is the re-education center, shall we say, for Pretoria. It's a high-tech prison, and it turns out that Mother Mayhem has a plan to release some mind-washed prisoners from the resistance back into the underground and further her plans. And so you must break into the Behavioral Adjustment Facility, defeat its defenses, and prevent the prisoners from escaping. So during the prisoner escape sequence, one of the players on the forum said it felt kind of like playing a tower defense game in reverse. With the players as the towers. There's prisoners making for all the exits, so you got to coordinate with your team to keep them from escaping. In the end, you've got to face some of those powerful villains. The Action City Heroes, you're fighting both Siege and Night Star. And then you start fighting first Siege, then you fight Night Star, and then both Siege and Night Star at the same time. So it requires some coordination between your crew. But we know that people pick it up at first. When we first released this, we had a very small closed pre-beta, and people said that they weren't going to be able, there was no way anyone was going to be able to defeat this encounter. And then a couple of days later, the same player posted on the forum saying exactly what they did to beat the encounter. Right? We wanted you to feel like you had the power in you the whole time. From the Behavioral Adjustment Facility, you move on to Lambda Sector. Lambda Sector is another area of Pretoria that has been in all along that we plan to have for an Incarnate Trial. And in Lambda Sector, you'd have to defeat Marauders' plans. Lambda Sector is a high-tech military facility where they develop the weapons that are used in the Praetorian invasion. Ryan, you want to talk a little bit about what people will see?
So basically, the environment team got to go in and kind of build out the underground space. It's actually pretty fun, really exciting for us to explore and kind of get to see more of the backstory behind the Lambda Sector.
You get to split up into two teams once you're in the interior of Lambda Sector. You want to you need to get go through the biological weapons facility down below, as well as the military warehouse on the main floor. And once you gather enough powers, once you gather enough materials, you can fight against Marauder and bring him down. And Marauder, let me tell you, is one of the slipperiest villains we put in the City of Heroes. It's hard to keep him in one place, so it should be a pretty good fight. All right. In addition, we increased the number of Incarnate slots available with Issues. We're introducing Judgment, Lore, Destiny, and Interface slots. Full trees all the way to the top, all the way to the uncommon powers. So Judgment is some very spectacular AoEs. Lore are allies you can summon. Destiny are buffs for you and your team, and the interface powers add some extra damage, extra abilities to your current attacks. We want to make you feel really powerful when you use the Incarnate abilities. That doesn't just mean they're affecting the game, but it also means how they look. We want everyone around you to notice when you're using these powers. Ryan, you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, actually, the entire Earth was really excited about these powers. The animation and effects team has gotten pretty much the entire team to work on these sets. We have some kind of new techniques for like fire and things like that. We're using animated textures, and it gives them a much more realistic feel. And really, all these powers are very dramatic, and they're really fun to use and show off.
You really can't tell in the screenshot because they're just screenshots and static. But from the previous beta sessions we've run, the feedback from players has been tremendous, especially with Judgment. He guys has one hell of an animation. Adventures powers.
Yeah, we were showing it at the NC South party last night. People were getting pretty excited who hadn't seen it yet. And as always, you can we're running limited periods of beta on the beta shark, so watch for announcements on the forums about when that's available. You can log in and check it out for yourself. All right. Well, after issue 20, what lies beyond? We're always working on the future at Paragon Studios. In fact, at one point we were working on issues 19 and 20 and content for the future all at once. So the next Incarnate trial will be the Keys Island reactors. This is another area of Pretoria that has been there all along that we can't wait for you guys to explore. There will be in the Keys Island reactor, you are fighting against antimatter, who is Positon's evil twin. You will be trying to bring down the power of his reactors while you're constantly fighting against the defenses of the Keys Island reactor, as well as antimatter's overloaded powers. Ryan, you want to talk a little bit about some of this area?
Yeah, well, the original reactors were made by David Kirchner, one of our environmentalists. And one of the cool things that we're getting into now is some new bunkers that kind of give you the ability to, there's like multiple ways you can kind of blow up the doors or kind of sneak in using stealth abilities.
Too far. Keep going. Pay no attention to behind the curtain.
Overall, it's been really fun to go back and explore this space and add in a lot of new stuff. So.
In addition, with those bunkers that Ryan's talking about, you can, if you have a high enough stealth score, for example, a stalker, you can sneak in through the back of the bunker and bypass some of the defenses and really help your team out. Yes, very useful. I always find stalkers useful. The next Incarnate trial would be Underground Pretoria. So Underground Pretoria is, people love Pretoria. Hamadon's sneaking back. Now, Emperor Cole took over the Praetorian universe when he thought he defeated Hamadon once and for all, but it turns out Hamadon was only in hibernation. And so, but deep below Pretoria, things are starting to get a little creepy. Ryan, you want to talk a little bit about
So, Chris Gregory, one of our environmentalists, put this together, and really the entire art team is really excited about this zone. Mission interior. It's come together really well. You can see it feels very alien as the devouring Earth has taken it over. And what kind of little bit of trivia, Chris Gregory, I guess one morning, kind of burnt some eggs when he's making breakfast, and ended up actually taking photos of that and using it for some of these gross alien textures. So that's kind of what you're seeing, but he did a great job making it look very alien.
In addition, the enemy you're fighting at the end of this Incarnate trial is pretty spectacular, and keep your eyes peeled for a preview at some point in the future.
Lots of oohs and ahs.
Yeah, the first time the development team saw it, everybody jumped in, everybody freaked out. We can't wait for you guys to see it. And so, now we're going to show you the trailer for issue 20. We showed this at the NC South party last night, but this is the first more public viewing of the teaser trailer.
Rated T for teen.
Excited to bring out.
So this marks the end of our presentation. We'll be taking questions on the shelf over there in the center. You've got a microphone. So if you want to ask us a question, please keep those questions to the content of what we presented to you today. That would be greatly appreciated. You can start lining up now if